Hi there, everybody, and welcome to the very last episode in this Sure and Certain Hope series. Thank you for coming along for the journey. Whether you recently joined us or whether you've been on the whole one, you're very welcome to have you here today. Appropriately, we're going to finish in heaven today. So let's get into it. So we are in the book of Revelation and we are going to chapter 21. I've got it down here before me. So let's actually read from the very first verse for this. Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and the sea no longer existed. And I saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, descending from heaven, from God, prepared as a bride, beautifully dressed for her husband. You see, the whole of this series really has been on our sure and certain hope. And here we see at a time that we can't even imagine, really, beyond so much beyond our existence now, when the sinless conditions of the Garden of Eden are being fully restored and full fellowship with God is there. And now we live in creation. As Paul puts it in Romans, creation is groaning with the pains of childbirth. And now when we see this picture here, creation is coming into a place where it is free from the bondage and decay that our sin really has put and placed this cost on everything. And the prophet Isaiah spoke of this time when there would be new heavens and a new earth. And the word "new" here in Greek, it's kainos, and it means a refreshed and of a different and of a better quality. It just reminded me a little bit when I was looking at the word "new" of the word reset that's being flung around, as we've mentioned a few times on this channel recently. And I think that's a good word for the church emerging, coming out, springing from this lockdown, that it will be new, refreshed, new in the biblical sense. But the new here is way beyond even what the church is going to be when it emerges from lockdown. That will be amazing, but this will be literally out of this world. The new city, the new Jerusalem, descending from heaven, from God. You see, it is God that has prepared the bride. No one else can do it. We can't do it even now by trying to be the best we can. We still walk in holiness and righteousness as enabled by grace, but really it is God that completely prepares the bride, the new Jerusalem. And isn't it like God to call his people a city, or a city the people? He's not interested in just buildings and real estate, even of cities. He's interested in saving people and bringing a people back. And why the picture of a city? Because a city is of a people who are interconnected and relating to one another and dependent upon one another. But this is the perfect city. This is the new city. And then we go into the verses that were actually earmarked for today, if you're following the actual verses 3 to 5. And I heard a loud voice coming from heaven saying, "Look, the holy dwelling place of God is with men, and he will remain among them. They will be his people, and God himself will be with them. He will wipe away every tear from their eyes, and there will be no more death, and no more grief, nor crying, nor pain, for the old order has passed." He who sat on the throne said, "Look, I make all things new." He added, "Write this down, because these words are trustworthy and true." And then he said to me, "It is accomplished. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end." This is where that story from the Garden of Eden, from when humanity was taken from the presence of God to God's plans to care for humanity all the way through history, to bring them to a point of redemption, to become to that point of reconciliation, so that a time yet undetermined to us, but very much God knows when this all happens, when everything comes to the fullness of where we have been heading. And the prophet Isaiah, seeing the new heavens and the new earth, we will be in that time. And the key here then is the cross of Jesus Christ, the death of Jesus Christ, brought about the necessary process for humanity, for all of humankind to be restored, reconciled to God. That's what it's about. That's what he's been living for. And when people make that choice, when people say yes to Jesus, they know that they will be dwelling with God in eternity. Look, the holy dwelling place of God, literally the tabernacle of God. If you remember, we were talking about the tabernacle earlier. The dwelling place of God, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will remain amongst them. It's God's absolute desire, absolute passion to be living amongst the very people that he made so that he could live and walk with them. In the Garden of Eden, you see the picture of God walking with Adam and Eve in the cool of the day, as it says. And once again, God will walk with his people in the cool of the day. They will be his people, and God himself will be with them. In some translations, because there's two in the Greek, there's different manuscripts. It says they will be his peoples and God himself will be with them. But really, it doesn't make that much difference. These are the people he has gathered from every peoples in existence. This is the people from every tribe and every nation that God will walk with. And in heaven, God will wipe away every tear from their eyes, and there will be no more death, and no more grief, no more crying, no more pain, for the old order has passed. This is one of the few glimpses of heaven that we get, because heaven, the place, because this heaven, this new heaven and new earth, is a place that is really beyond our current understanding. So we can only get small glimpses of what it's like to live for eternity, to be in the dwelling place of God. And he who sat on the throne, which of course is God himself, said, "Look, I make all things new. I make all things refreshed. I'm resetting everything." And at this point is the complete new. The complete new, the complete fresh, the completely different, better quality, if you like. And he added to John, "Write this down, because these words are trustworthy and true." And then he said to me, that's God said to John, "It is accomplished." It reminds me of Jesus' words on the cross, "It is finished." That was like the beginning of the finishing, and this is the complete finished. The people of God are with God for eternity, and there is the new heavens and the new earth. I am the Alpha and Omega, which means the beginning and the end. God is in everything and with everything and is everything. And this is what we are heading for. This is what we have in God ahead of us. This beautiful, wonderful time where we will dwell with him forever. And in everything we've covered, in every difficulty that we go through right now, in every struggle that we have, let's keep our focus on where we will be, because where we will be is truly wonderful and truly glorious. Thank you, Jesus. I want to pray for you right now, because we're at the end of this series, and I pray that you will have gained from the word, or if you go back and listen to the whole of the series and sort of run them together, I pray that God will give you fresh revelation of the sure and certain hope that is yours in Jesus Christ, and that sure and certain hope will give you something fresh, new in your life as you cling on to that. So thank you very much, everybody. It's been great to be with you on this journey through sure and certain hope. And next week, or the next video, if you're not actually watching them each day, is we start the new series, and we're going to look at the book of Philippians. It's going to be an exciting one, because Paul wrote that book to a group of people he absolutely loved, but he was in a position of complete lockdown himself as he wrote it, because at that time he was a prisoner in Rome. So we're going to have a lot of fun there. The first one, we'll have a little look at the history, if you like, of the city of Philippi and Philippians, and what's going on in the book or the letter that Paul wrote. And then we'll go through a little little side journey into Acts where Paul actually meets the people of Philippi for the first time, because that'll give us a context for the people that he loves that he's writing to. And of course the letter was written to circulate, so it's written for us now. So look forward to that one with you. If you're loving these videos or liking these videos, please subscribe to us here on the YouTube channel. It makes a big difference. And if you like this one, please press that like button. And if you want the notifications that new videos are out, don't forget you click the bell as well, and you will get an email from YouTube saying Light to North has put on a new program, a new video, I suppose, really. Remember, tears come from the distortion of creation that has come through sin, whether it's direct or indirect. That's where those tears have come from. And we are going to a place where there is no more tears. God bless you, everyone, and keep safe.